All right, seeing a few people roll in, lots of familiar faces, which I'm really happy to see, and also some faces I don't know, which is really exciting. So I will take this time to introduce myself, and we have a short session today in 30 minutes, so I want to make sure I use our time wisely. And I'll start off by introducing myself. My name is Jon Neher. I'm a senior product marketing manager here at Vendasta. And we put together this build mode series to really focus in on AI and operations and how you can build AI and operations using the Vendasta platform. It's one of the things that I'm super interested in is finding all of the different ways to optimize and use the tools of the Vendasta platform to get more out of that. So we've got this series put together to help with that. And today's topic is going to be something of an introductory topic, but it's going to be a lot of value for you as well too. We're going to be talking about the anatomy of an AI employee and the prompts that bring it to life. Over the course of other sessions, we'll of course look at other things like automations and capabilities and tools, but today we're really focusing in on that foundational component of the anatomy of an AI employee and the prompts that bring it to life. So in today's session, we are going to take some time to understand how simple prompting can change behavior, and I'll have a nice live demo to show that off for you. We're going to learn some of the science behind effective prompting. We're not going to go deep into data science, but we're going to spend a little time learning sort of the mechanics of how this all works. We're going to explore how AI employees are interpreting inputs as well. And then with all of that information, then we're going to take some time to build how to format clean, scannable outputs using Markdown. And we're going to have a little bit of a live tutorial where I'm going to build an example of good prompting using the Shopify storefront integration that Vendasta has. So with all of that said, let's get right into a demo. So I'm going to show just one of the outcomes that you can get from some really simple prompting. Now I will have to reshare a tab. And so I am in a business app for business, and we'll talk about some of the demo steps here for this, but I'm going to use this awesome triad feature that we have. If you have a My Listing page set up using local SEO in Vendasta, you can try out a chat receptionist really easily, and it creates this great page where you can chat with an AI receptionist and see how it's working. Now, one moment here while we move my picture in picture to the other side. Let's see. Here, let's just do this. All right. So there's going to be a lot of things happening here, but I want to show off a couple of the prompting changes that I've made that I think are going to be really exciting and valuable. So Ready, Set, Baby. It's a new parent sort of store, and I'm going to say, hey, I am looking for let's go with a stroller. And the way that my AI receptionist is going to answer here is going to be really influenced by the prompts that I gave. Hey, welcome. We have a variety of strollers. Gives me some different types of strollers. Let me know what features you're interested in, or if you have a brand or budget in mind. Can I please have your name? Cool. I'm John. Do you have strollers under $1,000? Believe it or not, there are many strollers over $1,000. So I'm putting in my budget here, and the AI receptionist is going to take a look and respond back. we'll look later at how we got each of these components here, but let's get our response to come back here in a moment. And of course, being on a live presentation, this will take longer than normal. Aha, there we are. Hey, thanks, John. Here are a couple of great strollers under $1,000. The Bumble Ride Indie stroller, it's a nice picture. The Nuna Travel LX stroller for $780. Would you like to see more options, or are you interested in a specific feature, color, or brand? Do you have any for twins? We'll let that question go off, but as you can see, the AI receptionist responded to my input there. It found some awesome strollers in my budget, have some links, and included a picture. And if I click any of those links, it's going to take me to the product page on the Shopify store. Very, very cool. And this all happened through some really good prompting. But when we say prompting, what is prompting? So you can think of prompting as actually programming behavior with natural language. So every word in your prompt becomes part of a sequence of tokens that the model uses to predict the next token that would normally appear. So when we talk about writing good prompts, we're really talking about having inputs that we give that will repeatedly get the kind of outputs that we expect. And in my example, that might be, we're repeatedly getting the right kind of products shown in the right kind of format. Excuse my cat Dolly if you hear her. She's really excited about this series as well, too. Now, you might have heard of the term context engineering as well, too. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because it is important, but we're going to be spending most of our time today thinking about prompting. So the difference between the two, prompt engineering is sort of how we instruct the model, and then context engineering is how we provide the information that is needed to really get what we're looking for. And this is both combined to shape what the AI says and how it behaves. Vendasta does a lot of the context engineering work required behind the scenes. There's so many moving pieces. It's relatively complex to get all of that right information in the right places. And one of the things that's great about using Vendasta is that all of this context stuff is handled kind of behind the scenes. So we're not going to spend too much time worrying about that. Today is going to instead really focus on that prompting side. And that's still going to allow you to do some really impressive things for how you work with the AI employee. So I'm going to do a little bit of simplification here, but there are fundamentally three things that go into your combined prompt. There's the purpose, which is sort of the role and behavior guidelines that you give an AI employee. Then there's the capabilities. These are instructions for specific actions and when the AI should be taking this or when to use these specific actions. And then there's tools, which are the APIs available to use and instructions on how to use those APIs. All three of those things go together to create a combined prompt that's sent to an LLM. And that can end up being a pretty large amount of text. So I'm going to show you inside of the Vendasta platform. This is a feature that was just recently released here, that if you go to configure one of your AI employees, you'll see that there is this view prompt button. And when you click that, you get to see a full combined prompt that has all of the different capabilities, the purpose, and context and information that goes into how an AI employee is going to respond. a lot of this is stuff that Vendasta has already put in there for you by default, because we know this is what is going to be needed to get a good result. But it can be helpful to take a look at all of it in this context and really sort of see what parts are there to look at. Okay. Going back to our presentation, and I guess I should sort of highlight here, you'll see that this is all written in a really specific way. And that specific way is Markdown. So what is Markdown? Remember, when we were talking about how these things are put together, these prompts, it's input tokens that are being used to help predict the output tokens, okay? And a lot of training material for LLMs, for AI models, has been made available in Markdown. There's so much stuff that's been out there on the internet that's been written in Markdown that LLMs are really, really good at interpreting and understanding things that are written in Markdown. So by giving all of that input in Markdown, you're making it really easy for AI to output and predict the right output. And one of the other benefits is that it's pretty easy to read for humans too. It was written specifically, Markdown that is, to be relatively easy to read for humans as well, as we can see on the side. So in Vendasta and in a lot of different LLM applications, you'll see that Markdown is a really effective way of getting good, consistent results while also making it really easy to read as a human. And here's just a simple example. We can see on one side, I've got something written in Markdown. And when it's being rendered on a web page or something like that, you get this really nice, consistent output that makes it easy to follow. And if it's easy for that human to follow and is easy to read, that makes it so much easier as well for the AI to read. So there's some really simple examples of Markdown here that you can look at for headings and lists and bold. But I think perhaps the best way to sort of experience this is to get in and do some prompt work. So I'm going to go back to Ready, Set, Baby, and we're going to look at how you can see the impact of Markdown and putting together all these pieces of a prompt to get good and better behavior. So moving back to my business app, you'll see that I have a default purpose set up. We'll take a look at that later. I have some capabilities set up. And I actually have very little knowledge. I have some pages that have been scraped and some business profile, but that's kind of it. They're good. They're really helpful, but not a whole ton in there. So I am going to remove both of these capabilities from Shopify just to look at a really default experience chatting with that AI receptionist. I should save those, I suppose. And we'll go to try it. One neat thing when you are doing some testing, great to do it here on this My Listing page, but you probably want to test again with a new sort of conversation. In my browser window, I don't think it's very easy for you to see here. I won't take the time to show this, but I can maybe have an example of this put in our documentation. Is if you clear your cookies for this website and just this website, you'll be able to have a fresh conversation. So I'm going to do that right now and do a quick refresh. And let's see what we get for my question when I ask, hey, how, or I should say, what kind of strollers do you have? So this is just with no capabilities, just the basic things that come with the AI receptionist. It's probably going to look at our knowledge base and do some things there. Holy smokes! We offer a wide selection of strollers, and including all these different brands, and they have systems, and it's asking about particular features, which is nice, but that is a lot, and if I'm trying to get to a specific one, not very helpful. So let's go back to our configuration screen. And let's add in some capabilities here. So right now, if I look at the prompt, we have all of this personality stuff, the purpose, how it talks on different communication channels, and it's capturing leads. But it does not have information about Shopify. So I'm going to add that in. I have this Access Shopify capability that'll turn on. I'll choose the Shopify storefront that I have connected, hit save. And now when we look at the prompt, we'll see that it has this Access Shopify capability. This business has a Shopify storefront. When asked about the business's store or products by a user, use your available tools to search the catalog, get details, add items, provide them to a link to a checkout page. Okay, let's go back here. And now that we've added this capability, let's see what happens with the same kind of prompt. Clear our cookies, refresh. Hey, what kind of strollers do you have? Now that Shopify goal has been added, that Shopify capability has been added, and so it should use connected tools to search and find some information. Like you might remember from our previous example, I'll just switch back. When I had it all kitted out, it did some questions for me. Hey, what kind are you kind of looking for? And then it eventually got some pictures and things like that. Pretty cool. Now, when I added that capability, it said, hey, this is who I am. We have a wide variety of strollers. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Basically, I think this is probably a list of all of their strollers. Do you have any more specific details? May I have your name to better assist you? Okay, we're getting somewhere. If I'm a visitor, though, this list of all of these different links is probably not exactly what I want. It's okay, but it might be too many. It doesn't really give me an idea of what specifically might be good for me. The AI receptionist did a really good job with the information that it had available, but maybe this isn't quite exactly what I'm looking for. Then we can go back to our configuration. And while this capability, Access Shopify, gave all of the details on how to get information from the Shopify storefront, we're actually going to add in another capability, this Shopify conversation flow. And we'll see from here that I've done some prompting to say, this is how I want you to go through the conversation. When a user asks about a category, search for relevant results. For web chat, you're going to display it a certain way. For SMS chat, you're going to display it a certain way. Ask guiding questions. Before sharing any products or links or images, determine if the user's request is specific enough. And so we give some examples of how you know if it's specific enough. And then what do you do afterwards? Cool. So let's save this and do one more refresh with some cleared cookies. All right. What kind of strollers do you have in stock? Taken a bit longer, and this is one of the positives and negatives of having more detail in your prompts, is that it can increase the amount of time for the AI to respond, get the right information. But generally speaking, it's probably worth it for the better results that you get. All right. So like we saw before, in my very, very first example, we got some information about the kind of strollers that are available and some of the brands, but it is now listening to my prompt where I'm asking, and let's show this again. Before sharing any product links or images, oh, let's really zoom in. Before sharing any product links or images, determine if the user's request is specific enough. Ask a clarifying question first instead of showing products immediately. And the AI is doing a really good job of knowing to do this because of two things. We have it listed as a capability, and we have really good markdown formatting saying, hey, this is an important thing. Make sure you're looking at it before you write a response. So this H3 heading, because there's 3 hashtags there, saying, hey, make sure you look at this before you recommend a product. And we even get some nice examples of what a generic query might be. Strollers without modifiers. And these little stars, these bolds, are marked down telling us how should we react to it. And it's taking a good look at these because we're putting in good markdown. All right, to help you find the best option, are you interested in a specific type? I'm going to say double stroller. And we'll get a response back. And while we're getting that response, I do want to show that, of course, we can go to our Conversations tab. And if we look at, because I haven't given my name yet, anonymous web visitors, we can see the conversation that's happening and some explanation of how these answers are getting generated. So looks like my AI just responded with 2 images of strollers and some links to them, and double stroller options in particular. If I click the explanation, I can see the thought process that the AI used to get there. And we can see that it's thinking about providing good variety for style and price range. And it's listening to my instruction to end with a question. And finally, if we look here, we can see the tool that the AI used to find all this information. filled all of that in to get some responses back. There was so many different strollers, but it decided to choose 2 based on the information that I had in my prompt. So there is a lot that we can do just by using those capabilities and those prompts. But some really quick building tips as you're going through with prompting. Shorter is probably better. As you saw, when we combine all of that information in, there is a ton. And so we need to do our best to make sure that we're not providing contradictory information, that we're putting in so much that it's hard for us to debug or hard for the AI to like really read. You'll see that examples usually help. And in my prompt that I had there, we gave some examples of what a good query was, or what kind of specification we might need to move on. Having some examples is probably a good idea. You can ask AI to help you build these prompts as well too. When you go to find those prompts in the Vendasta platform, you can just copy the whole dang thing, paste it, and say, any suggestions on how to improve my prompt? And you can get some pretty good results. And finally, you just got to test and iterate. That's what I did there. We started from the very basic, and then we saw how the AI would respond and just added in a few different things and tested it bit by bit to see how we can get the best results. It's going to definitely take a little bit of work, but it shouldn't be too bad if we keep some of these tips in mind and think about the anatomy of that AI employee as we're working with them. So we got a couple minutes for questions. Fritz asked, can it pull content from WooCommerce? And I guess we're talking about, hey, can the AI receptionist pull content from WooCommerce? Absolutely. But let's take a really quick look at what that looks like inside the Vendasta platform. And what I mean by that is my chat receptionist did a really good job of pulling content from Shopify because I had this capability set up. This capability is using this storefront integration, and it let the AI, let me show here, use a tool to call same thing for WooCommerce. Tool created with the API. That's awesome, but it is something available by default. Right? Great question, Fritz. We can look at how to make that super easy. But now one can create a tool capability to do that. You can use you can use information to
your audio still going in and out for.
How's this? Any better?
Oh, so much better.
Sorry about that, Betsy, and everyone else. Just was saying that WooCommerce, you can create your own capability and tool to make that happen. And we'll have some good examples on docs.vendasta.com or even docs.businessapp.io that you can look at to see how to create those capabilities. And then I think we had a very related question from you there, Betsy. Are the capabilities like the Shopify examples already available? Yes. Sort of. The things like the capture leads one is available. If you go to the AI capabilities tab, you can look at that one in depth, read all of what goes in there. And that Shopify capability that I created is a little different. The way that you set that up is pretty neat. you go to the integration section, and I'll even disconnect this because it's not so hard to reset up. You will set up the Shopify storefront integration. And to connect it, all you need to do is put in the URL of a website, readysetbaby.ca, .ca. And since I'm here, I better put in that HTTP. Click Add Connection. And as soon as you hit that Add Connection, that makes the Shopify Access Shopify capability available. So that one is pretty easy to set up with your AI employee. When you make that connection, make sure that you choose the right connection there, just so that it's set up there as well too. Love those questions. We are, in fact, already past 30 minutes, but thank you so much. I will make sure that this is available for you all to review, and excited to see everyone in a week where we'll dive into some of these AI foundation building blocks a little bit more. Thanks for joining, everyone.